Hey everybody! Well, I am not in Laredo, Mexico anymore. You can probably tell because there's no big fir trees like that in Laredo. I am back in Oregon and we are at Esperanza's mom's house, and we are going to be here for actually a couple weeks doing a whole bunch of renovations and repairs here on her house, and we're staying here, and we have a special guest with us today. Curry, come here. This is Curry. Curry is a miniature Australian Shepherd, and she is old, but she is still spunky, huh? Come here. Yeah. And Curry used to live with Esperanza, but she's been living with Esperanza's mom for the last 3 years, and she just loves it here, don't you? All right, well, we're going to get to work starting this morning. We are going to head into the bathroom where the floor needs some work and get started on this big set of jobs. So you ready, Curry? Let's go. All right, we're here and we have a special guest. Has been on the channel in a while, quite a while. Esperanza. I've been doing all my own stuff, and Esperanza's been doing her stuff, and she doesn't have her own channel. So you only get to see her when she comes on my channel.
That's right.
I guess it's our channel because it's called Douglas and Esperanza's Adventures, but usually it's just Douglas's Adventures.
Yeah, it is. That's okay. You can have your adventures.
All right, first project on the list, and I'll show you the list one of these days. It's pretty big. It's out there on the, is to fix this floor here. So I'll have Esperanza go over there, and right here.
Okay.
And the floor is obviously bubbled up right here a little bit, and it sounds like it's separated from the glue. I'm guessing that one of these faucets was leaking down under here. So we are going to dig into this. We're going to try to get this floor up without wrecking it. Best case scenario in here will be if we can take off the molding around the edge, take the floor apart because it's a click floor, and then figure out what's going on down here, fix it. Maybe we place a few tiles. We have some extra tiles. That's good. And hopefully we can just put the rest of it back together, put the trim back on, and be very little new stuff. Now, worst case scenario is we gotta replace the whole floor. But that's not gonna happen. So we're gonna get to work taking this trim off and trying to pull this floor apart. Careful, because I don't want to break this trim, because it is likely that you won't be able to find it anymore, in which case if you break it, then you're really out of luck.
Nice job.
So we be very careful with it, because it's just particle board trim, or not particle board, yeah, it's particle board pressed sawdust trim, which is fine, it's great, but it breaks easy if you bend it too much. And then we just have to get this piece up, which comes up. This is luxury vinyl tile. You can see that's good, because even if water did get down under here, it's likely the tiles are still all perfect shape. We just have to fix what's going on underneath here, and we can probably put all these original tiles back and no problem at all. The other thing is they are not glued down. It's not back here. So let's see, this stuff should come out really quick now once you get.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oops. And it's good because we're trying to get to right here, and it's coming apart in this direction, which is exactly the most perfect scenario. So
What?
I wanted to know if they were glued down.
Nope,
No.
they're not. But there was some glue at one point in just one space. Right where I could hear that sticky. See the square over there?
Yeah.
Mom, I like your Loretto shirt.
Oh, me too. Where did I get it?
Loretto.
Yeah.
There,
Thank you.
there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so right over this joist here, it is slightly buckled up. I think it got wet at some point in time, but it's not wet now. So I've thought about this a little bit. I'm pretty sure I know what happened. This is a seam where there's a piece of floor, subfloor coming this way, a piece of subfloor coming this way. The subfloor is a pressed board subfloor, probably an inch thick, 3/4 of an inch to an inch thick. And what happened is water got down under here at some point and it made it into the seam where it could get into the sides of this press board, because the top of this press board has a coating on it and it's got glue on it from the original vinyl that used to be here, but the edges are not protected. So the water gets down, gets into these edges, and then it makes this particle board expand all along the seam. All right, I'm back from the store and I decided to go with a belt sander. I think that's going to be the best option, especially with this particle board. And I'm worried that it's going to chip out if I tried to use a planer on it. So I got a belt sander. I got a 40 grit belt for it. And it is a Craftsman. I know it's not the greatest quality, but we have to go cheap and we're only going to use this thing cheap. There's that word again. I went cheap and got the mid-range Craftsman because this is only going to be used on these few things, and it most likely will never get used on anything again. So it's kind of a 1 or 2 job tool. Usually then I buy cheap tools or Harbor Freight tools or things like that for jobs that are just going to be 1 or 2. And I don't have any of my tools here because we're in Oregon. And so you can see here, we sanded off this bump, and now, right there, we need to take a little tiny bit more. Right there, it is flat. So we are getting right there, it is flat. So we are getting really close, and we just have to sand the rest of this bump off. It's going pretty quick compared to what I thought, so. Whew, a little hot in here. It's gonna be like almost 100 here today in Oregon. We brought the Loretto weather to Oregon.
Yes, we did.
And I don't know why the AC isn't going in here, but it doesn't seem to be going in here. Anyways, we got this all sanded down, sanded that hump out, all flat now. And the little Craftsman sander did perfect. Took that right off. So now this is totally flat. And I'm hoping it should, once we put these tiles back in, should be solid and not have any more spongy areas in the floor. Okay, Esperanza, what do you think? Is it nice and solid? Yeah, right. First job done, and we made pretty good time on this. It's 2:30. Probably took about 4 hours, 3 hours to pull up the trim, pull up the flooring, sand, go get the tools, sand this down, and then put everything back in, put all the trim back in. Looking good. All right. Now we'll get on to the next project. I gotta go look at the list, and then I'll tell you what it is. Next project on the list is doing a little rehab on the shower. We are just going to fix up. There's a little bit of, think of rot around where this is a little loose. And so there may be a little leak back there. So we're gonna get in there and see what's going on and see what we can do to fix that and make that more solid. Then we are going to just clean the shower out and put the glass doors back on it. It's got a whole track system and a set of glass doors that go on it. They were taken off when I think they painted. So that's all gonna go back on here. And this should be fairly simple. I am going to, in here, look at this shower head from this side. All right, so I'm here, the back of this, I ended up having to cut out because this ended up being drywall. And I started trying to get it off of here and it was not gonna work. So cut out a little thing here so I could get to the back of this. We'll have to see how we fix it. But you can definitely see there's been water leakage around here in the past. It looks like it was originally installed right here and that it was leaking around here, and it doesn't really look like it was leaking now. All right, everybody, I am back here at the mega project in Oregon at Esperanza's mother's house, and we are working on this shower today. Now, we started this yesterday. We got into this wall and we found a bunch of mold, black mold to be precise, and we took care of that. I got rid of it. So I ended up having to cut out a section here around where the shower connection is because this connection was leaking because it was not sealed properly with Teflon tape. It was just metal on metal connection. So this was leaking down in the wall and that caused black mold all around here. We have that all removed. We removed most of it and I cleaned the rest of it up with bleach, which kills all the black mold, makes it disappear. So everything is now nice and clean and we can put this back together. So we need to fix this side of the wall, which is a drywall repair. And we need to fix the other side of the wall, which is a drywall repair. I got this all solidified up. I put some bracing in here to screw all these patches to, so they're all nice and rock solid. So we got a patch here. It's fairly flat, so that will make it easy to make that patch disappear. We have the patch put back in here again, fairly flat. We got bracing back in there and screwed that all in. So this patch, these patches are both ready to go. And next we will tape and mud these patches. Then we'll start the whole process of mudding, sanding, mudding, sanding, mudding, sanding until they disappear and you can't even see where they were. All right, let's get started on some drywall, which is my favorite thing in the world. Not. All right, got it all mudded for the first coat. And I know it's not perfect. Never is on the first coat. At least not for me. And in here, you can see this is all mudded up. Ooh, I just got my hands in there. This is all mudded up. Now, you're right there, you see it. It has to dry because the drywall mud will take quite a while to dry. They do make like fast drying mud, but this is such a small job. I just got the little ready to use joint compound. So the problem is it's probably going to take 4 or 5 hours, which means I'm only going to get one more coat on today. All right, I'm out here in the garage and we have been using Esperanza's mom's car here. And the problem is this garage door has been a huge pain for years and years and years. It had a new opener put in not too long ago. It looks like a LiftMaster. I'll have to look up the model. And it's one of the newer openers. It hooks up to the MyQ app and does all that stuff. But this garage door and this opener have never been correctly programmed and set up. This garage door errors out all the time because it's a very old garage door. It flexes a lot when it moves, and that causes the opener to think that it hits something when the garage door is going down. And so a lot of times the garage door will go down just a few inches, then reverse and go back up because it thinks it hits something. It'll go down a little bit more, reverse, go back up. She has had the people that installed this opener here twice to try to fix this problem and doesn't fix anything. The door does not work. So most of the time to make the door work, you have to use the button on the wall and you have to hold the button the entire time the garage door is going down. If you didn't know, on these openers, that causes an override. If you just push the button, the garage door will go down, and if it thinks it hit something or the aired out on the torque, it will go back up. If you hold down this button, it will continue to go. It overrides that safety mechanism. So yesterday, I was trying to get this garage door shut. It wouldn't shut. Turns out that this bracket here came loose. It holds the sensor for the beam that makes sure nothing is in the way of the garage door. So I got that tightened up. You can reprogram the force sensor in these garage door openers. And it's not a manual process. There used to be a little like dial that you would turn to set the force. It isn't that process anymore, but there is a electronic process that you can do to reset the force meter. So I'm going to look this opener up. I'm going to get the procedure to reprogram the force sensor, and then we're going to give that a try and see if we can at least get that resolved. Then we'll get some lubricant, lube this up, and I'll go around and tighten all of the nuts and bolts up on it and try to get this thing working a little smoother. All right, before we start, let me show you what this garage door sounds like going up. And you'll see this thing is loud and clunky. So you saw that, loud and clunky. We're gonna try to get this fixed nice and smooth. All right, I've looked up the procedure, got it here on my phone, and we will get started with this. Okay, we're supposed to start with the garage door in the down closed position. That is there. Press and hold the adjustment button until the up arrow begins to blink. And then we're just going to move it to the up position and the down position and program those positions. So Now the key, let's see if this down force has been reset, because this process resets the down force and the down position. And it should reset the down force to a high enough level that it's able to overcome all this this resistance we have because of this old garage door. Let's hope so. It's looking good so far, even with all the squeals and the groans. Nice. So now we have reprogrammed the opener. We've reprogrammed the up position and the down position to where we want them. So the garage door isn't getting violently slammed in at the end when it's going down. And it has the force reprogrammed. So hopefully it will overcome all the extra resistance from this old garage door. Now we need to find some good grease to grease everything. And you basically grease anything that pivots. So all the hinges on the garage door, all the rollers need to be greased everywhere. And that will take care of a lot of that noise, a lot of that squealing, make this garage door go a lot smoother. All right, now comes the really fun part of this whole process. That's sanding drywall. And I'm being facetious here. Sanding drywall is the most horrible part of the process. In fact, one of my least favorite things to do, sanding drywall and painting. Sanding drywall is worse than painting. But we only have a little tiny bit to do here, so this is no big deal. It's not like we're doing the entire room from scratch and we have to sand a whole room full of drywall. So if I was doing a big job like that, I would have big sanding blocks and use sandpaper that goes on those blocks and all that. But for a small job like this, I really like these sanding blocks. They don't last long enough to do a whole room, but they are really good and they give really good results because they kind of like, they bend because they're like a sponge. And so it's really easy to get good results on a small thing with these. So I like to use them. And you can use you can feel your pressure really good with these. So you can see, looking good already. All right, I'm gonna get to sanding because it's so much fun. I just can't wait. And I'll let you see when it gets done, how bad it is, because we're definitely gonna have to do another coat. But we'll see how good this is, and we might be able to get along or get by with 2 coats if we do it right. All right. This side is easily going to be done with 2 coats, which is good. So I have the first coat done here. Now on this side, it was still too wet. So I started trying to sand, and now I can see when I look at it, it's a little dark here still. This had some bigger grooves in it. And so it's still a little too wet to sand. And so we'll have to wait another hour or 2 to sand this. I'm back in here and I got it all sanded on here. And so it's all ready for a second coat. This side did really good too. Look at all the dust. So I think I'm only gonna need 2 coats. All right, I got these all finished sanded, final sanded, and looking really good. Ready for primer on that one. This one, I don't know if we'll primer it or just put a picture over it, but it's nice and flat. So if sometime in the future they want to put another coat of wallpaper over this wall, then it'll be all ready to go. Or we can just hang a picture over it and that'll hide it just like that. All right, now we are pretty much done. So I am going to clean everything up in here before I paint, caulk and paint. So we need to clean, I need to clean and then caulk paint, the new drywall, and I've got some other caulking and painting to do around this bathroom, and then it will be done. Well, we had a very productive trip back here to Oregon. We got to visit a lot of family. We got a lot of work done. We did a bunch of financial stuff and medical stuff. And it really does help to have a home base when you live in a foreign country permanently like we do. It's awesome to have a home base, a relative or somebody where you can have your mail sent and be kind of your residence in the U.S. as opposed to not having really any kind of physical residence in the U.S. Makes it a lot more difficult because, you know, things like banking and taxes and things like that become much more difficult to maintain and work with. Next week, we've got even more adventures from our trip here. We're going to do a little bit more work, and we're going to do something fun. We're going to take you guys and show you a really cool place here in the Pacific Northwest called Skamania Lodge. We stayed there, and we'll show you what it's all about next week. We're really happy we were able to come up, have this trip here to visit family and do everything, but we need to get back to Mexico and get a bunch of stuff done. We actually have a flight back tomorrow, so by the time you see this, we will be back in Mexico taking care of all the business at Pufferfish Villas that needs to be taken care of before our busy fall season starts up. So thank you for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and never forget to live before you die.